testing, you've worked out the kinks, and you now have a money machine, a single success, a single pilot or a single sales method that systematically produces a profit without you testing. What do you do next? You've worked out the kinks. The answer and is, you now, if it works, keep doing it. You do it again, and again, and again. Power principle: once you have something that works, you concentrate on duplicating it. Once you have something that works, you concentrate on duplicating it. This is why creating a system that's organized to deliver and support large quantities of your value, without your presence, is so vital. It allows for duplication. Your completed system is the model or cookie cutter you use to duplicate your success over and over again. First you create something that works well on a small scale, maybe one store, one office, or a sale to one person. Then you repeat the process, again and again. It's that simple. The speed wealth entrepreneur understands that if you can make a profit on one location, the question is, how many similar locations can you create? If you can make a profit on one transaction, the question is, how many similar transactions can you make? The key question is, how do I get my product or service into the hands of the largest numbers of people? Duplication is simply a way of increasing the quantity of the value you deliver. And when you increase your quantity, you increase your income. More people have created wealth using the cookie-cutter approach than any other method in history. Have you heard of a gentleman named Sam Walton? His little empire is called Walmart Registered. Sam started with one small store, in one small town, that produced one small profit. Then he systemized the store so that it worked efficiently without him. This became the cookie cutter he used to roll out almost 9,000 cookies, otherwise known as Walmart Registered stores, in hundreds of towns in North America. The company also operates stores in 15 international markets under 55 different names. Speed wealth principle #5, duplicate. Power principle: you create wealth by using the cookie-cutter approach. Sam Walton was a true master of the speed wealth system. He died in 1992 as one of the richest people on the planet, amassing a personal net worth of over $7 billion. That's billion, with a capital B. Everyone knows McDonald's Registered. Back in the 50s, Ray Kroc uncovered a sizzling hot concept: fast food, burgers, fries and shakes. Then he systemized his marketing, production, and operations so that this one store worked efficiently and profitably. He then duplicated by allowing others to use his profitable system. This method of expansion is now known as franchising. Today, there are more than 32,000 McDonald's registered outlets around the world selling to 64 million people daily. Ray Kroc was another master of the speed wealth system who applied the power of duplication. Before he died, Ray Kroc amassed a net worth of over $4 billion. That's another capital B. Have you heard of Amway Registered, Mary Kay Registered, Herbalife Registered, or New Skin Registered? They are all network or multi-level marketing companies. This is simply another form of duplication. You use the product, then refer it to someone else, who does the same thing, and on and on and on. In fact, the entire network marketing process is based on the speed wealth principles. Timing, systemization and duplication are inherent and already built into the multi-level methodology. The best network marketers understand that duplication can make you rich. These network marketing distributors have downlines numbering over 20,000 people, and generate incomes of over $1 million a year. Power principle: ask, who could buy or sell a huge quantity of my product or service at once or on an ongoing basis? Remember, the idea behind duplication is getting your value distributed to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. This is where a lot of business owners run into trouble. They can't seem to get exposure. They don't have the funds for heavy advertising campaigns and they're not adept at marketing. What can they do? One speed wealth strategy is to find buyers who can purchase or sell large volumes of your products or services. The question you always want to ask is, who could buy or sell a huge quantity of my product or service at once or on an ongoing basis? It brings to mind a student who attended one of my business boot camps. He had created a How to Paint Your House DVD, and was trying to sell these DVDs to small retail outlets. After the session I mentioned earlier, how to generate million-dollar opportunities every 60 seconds, he went out into the hall, used the phone, and came back with a huge smile on his face. With a single call, he sold his DVD to one of the largest paint manufacturers in the world. The DVD would be used as a premium and given away free with each purchase of 5 or more gallons of paint. His first order was for 100,000 units, and my student's profit was about $1 on each. As you can see, making money is easy once you understand duplication. Power principle: work smarter instead of harder. Leverage means doing more with less. It's not so much a what you do, but rather a how you do it. Leverage uses specific tactics and strategies that allow you to work smarter instead of harder. One of my business mottos is, if you're not using leverage, you're working too hard, and earning too little. Leverage starts with replacing yourself or much of what you do personally. As a speed wealth practitioner, you want to constantly be asking yourself, how can I provide people with my value, my products or services, while I sleep? When you can answer this question and execute the answer, you've got it made. Have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk? He's now a New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author who is a self-trained wine and social media expert. In high school, while working at his family-owned liquor store, Gary started reading the Wine Spectator and wine books, and realized collecting wine offered an allure similar to his previous hobby of collecting baseball cards. With a wealth of knowledge and an entrepreneurial spirit, Gary spent every weekend of his college years at his parents' wine store called the Wine Library. Speed wealth principle #6, leverage. Power principle: how can I provide people with my products or services, while I sleep? Recognizing the importance of e-commerce in 1997, Gary launched WineLibrary.com, and in 2006, with a flip cam and New York Jets bucket, Gary began Wine Library TV Registered, which revolutionized the wine world. His wine reviews soon attracted over 100,000 viewers each day, and his die-hard fans nicknamed themselves Vaniacs. Gary's cult-like following was the result of his unconventional, often irreverent commentary on wine. By leveraging the internet and primarily social media, he has transformed his parents' small Springfield, NJ wine shop from a $4 million a year business to a $60 million a year enterprise. Let's look at another form of leverage. Remember the student I told you about with the Paint Your House DVD? Remember how he got an opening order for 100,000 units? Well, the story's not over. The next session of the bootcamp was about creating speed wealth through licensing. Once again he went out at the next break and made a phone call. This time, he came back with an even bigger smile. He had changed the arrangement with the paint manufacturer. Instead of selling the DVDs to them, he licensed them the rights to duplicate the DVD themselves. They immediately upped their initial run to 250,000 units. Why? Because they could now choose their own suppliers, giving them full control of product quality and lowering their costs. Licensing is an extremely high form of leverage. My student was able to sell more with less of his own time and money. And since his royalty percentage remained the same, his income skyrocketed. By the way, what did he do with all the extra time on his hands? He utilized another form of leverage, add-on and repeat sales, and immediately began creating Volume 2 of his house painting DVD series, covering specialty areas like decks, rain gutters, and outside doors. Power principle: in business, the headaches are in the front end, but the money is in the back end. One of the most powerful ways to leverage is to fully utilize your database. Supporting your customers with additional products and services, giving them reasons to return again and again, produces extremely high profits because you've already paid the high cost of getting the customer the first time. These are called back-end sales, and that's why I say, in business, the headaches are in the front end, but the money's in the back end. Yet another exciting form of leverage is partnership marketing, or joint venturing. Consider the example of Apple registered and Starbucks registered. They made a deal where, if you have a Wi-Fi connected iPod Touch, iPhone or laptop and you walk into a Starbucks registered, you can download the songs that are playing in that location. You can even get songs for free, and now they've expanded into offering apps and iBooks for free with the purchase of a Starbucks registered Pick of the Week card. This is a synergistic relationship that allows each company to leverage each other's brand and customer goodwill. That's why partnership marketing is popular today and will become even more popular in the future. In fact, a great ground floor opportunity available right now is starting a partnership marketing agency. You would match companies who could work together, and receive a percentage of the resulting services. Leverage is a massive subject. If you want more details, we get into it heavily in our Millionaire Mind intensive and additional courses. For now, however, let me share a few more quick examples of leverage with you. Power principle: if you're not using leverage, you're working too hard and earning too little. Leverage is starting your business with little or none of your own money. Leverage is using other people's talents, skills, contacts, credibility, and resources. Leverage is fully utilizing the latest technologies in computers, software, telecommunications, the internet and social media to increase your speed and efficiency. Leverage is using the power of the media to get millions of dollars of free publicity. Leverage is borrowing celebrity fame for endorsements. Leverage is selling products before you have them, or at least, before you have to pay for them. Leverage is expanding your business using your customers' or suppliers' money. Leverage is getting the best people in your industry to work for you now, for almost nothing. Leverage is getting more from each of your employees by properly training them, treating them well, and giving them the space to express their true talents. Leverage is getting more from yourself, enhancing your business knowledge, developing yourself personally and increasing your stamina and energy. Leverage is managing your time more effectively so you do the right things instead of just doing things right. Leverage is a mindset. It's an art. It's a science. It's an essential piece of the speed wealth puzzle. It often separates those who create financial freedom quickly, from those who continue to struggle for the rest of their lives. Remember, if you're not using leverage, you're working too hard and earning too little. Power principle: the speed wealth entrepreneur starts with the end in mind. This principle is the culmination of all the steps, and ties the entire speed wealth system together. One of the primary differences between a speed wealth entrepreneur and the average business owner is that they start with the end in mind. By following the speed wealth system to the letter, in 3 to 5 years, you will have 4 enviable choices. 1. You can keep the business, continue to work hands-on, and make a huge income. Or 2. You can keep the business, and cash out your time by delegating the day-to-day affairs, and make a huge passive income. Or 3. You can sell all or part of the business and become an instant millionaire. Or 4. You can create a combination of all of the above. In any case, you've hit the jackpot. I want to share a little secret. You will never make as much money running a business as selling a business. The most lucrative product you can ever sell is the business itself. By following the speed wealth process, you will have automatically set up your business as an extremely valuable and saleable commodity. Speed wealth principle #7, cashing out. Power principle: you will never make as much money running a business as selling a business. 56. Now do you see why it's so critical that your business be able to run without you? Because when it comes time to sell your business, the better it can run and profit without you as an integral part of the package, the higher the value and price. Let's face it, if you were buying a business, would you want its success to be dependent on any one person, especially the owner, who wants to sell and leave it? Of course not. So what do buyers want? What are they really buying? Primarily three things: profits, the continuation of those profits, and the potential growth of those profits. Buyers want a solid, proven, well-run money machine that churns out a healthy income on an ongoing basis and runs without a lot of maintenance. So, by using the speed wealth system, that's exactly what you create: a high-powered money machine that has already been duplicated several times, and still has plenty of room for growth. Once you have accomplished this task, big companies will line up to buy your business for $1, $2, $3 million, or more. So when in the process do you have to start thinking about all this? At the beginning. In the speed wealth system, it's imperative that you think sell from day one. You come in with the intention to cash out. From the very beginning of Fitness Land, my goal was to build the business, as quickly as possible, to a point where it was worth at least $1 million after-tax dollars, then sell. And that's exactly what I did. And exactly what you can do too. People often ask, can you cash out if you're a distributor or a professional or own a home business? The answer is contingent on the way you've set up your operation. If you've followed the Speed Wealth program and systemized your business into a money machine that can work without you. Power principle: you come in with the intention to cash out. And if you've designed it so your customers are happy dealing with the company and its representatives instead of only you personally, then absolutely yes. You can sell, and for big, big money. I know a network marketer who recently sold his downline for megabucks, plus an ongoing percentage of the purchaser's income. I know of a bill auditor who sold her home business for a small fortune because of her proven marketing system and her extensive client list. I'm friends with a chiropractor who just cashed out his practice and made a mint. Even though he had a personal service business, he was smart from the start and did not use his personal name as his business name. Think about it: would you want someone else's personal name on your new business? Neither would most buyers. Remember, I'm not saying you have to sell your successful company, but because you've used the Speed Wealth system and set it up to sell from the beginning, you will at least have the choice of becoming an instant millionaire if you want to. Remember too, you can sell half your shares, like I did, and pocket a very handsome chunk of change, and perhaps stay on as president or chairman of the board. Another way to cash out a portion of your ownership is by going public. Power principle: everyone thinks they can do better than you, once they take over. IPOs, initial public offerings, are once again in vogue. The big trend is to start a business, prove its viability in the marketplace, and then go public, using the funds to expand nationally, or even internationally. Meanwhile, you own 2.2 zillion shares, part of which you can cash in a few months after the offering. Today, many businesses are choosing to fund their expansion by going public instead of franchising. The directors always say this gives them more control. Maybe. Maybe not. What is certain, however, is that going public gives them a chance to make a quick personal fortune. Look at Facebook registered founder Mark Zuckerberg. He developed the social media network as a 19-year-old sophomore at Harvard. He then dropped out of college to focus on his business, and after going public, his shares were worth $13.50 billion. This is speed wealth in all its glory. Again, when do you consider going public? Preferably right from the beginning. Don't be too quick to rule out this wealth-producing option. It might just be right for you and it's not nearly as difficult as most people think. The key is to find the right person to guide you through it. Regardless of how you're going to cash out, it's critical to learn the key factors that determine the value of a business for the purpose of selling. This way, you know exactly what areas of the business to focus on and can sell for the most money possible. Some people would say net profit is most important, and that's often true, but in my experience, gross sales are just as essential. Why? First, high gross sales show high potential. Second, is human psychology. The fact is, power principle, deal with large, successful corporations where $1 million or $2 million is a drop in the bucket. Everyone thinks they can do better than you, once they take over. If you've got massive gross sales but minor net profits, most buyers will think you're a half-wit who just doesn't know how to run a business. And once they get their expert hands on the control levers, profits will soar through the roof. Once again, maybe, maybe not. Another key selling factor is, who is buying your company? What is the purchaser's wherewithal? In the Speed Wealth system, we deal primarily with major corporations that are full-on acquisition departments and buy businesses on a regular basis. You want to deal only with large, successful corporations that are accustomed to paying top dollar for everything. A company where $1 million or $2 million is a drop in the bucket. Believe it or not, the $1.6 million Heinz registered paid for Fitnessland was the least they'd ever spend for a business. To them, the deal was a no-brainer, and that's just the way I wanted it. Cashing out, be it by selling all or part of your business, is the crowning jewel of the Speed Wealth system. It's what allowed me to go from 0 to $1 million in only 2 years, and why I'm confident that if you follow the Speed Wealth system to the letter, in 3 to 5 years, you can be a millionaire too. Power principle, wealth is not just money. The name of this program is Speed Wealth, not Speed Money. The Speed Wealth system is more than just making money, it's the ability to enjoy the journey along the way and grow your business without the usual stress and struggle. Wealth is not just money. For most people, wealth includes an abundance of money, free time, loving relationships, inner peace, and having a sense of meaning and fulfillment. Not long ago I had the biggest scare of my life. My doctor told me he thought I had lymphoma. He scheduled me for surgery and did a biopsy on a lump that had developed in my throat. It took 4 agonizing days for the results to come in. During that wait, my entire life changed. I was really scared, not so much about dying, but about not having fully lived. I knew I hadn't given enough attention to the true priorities in life, my wife, my children, my inner spirit, and just taking time to play. I vowed if I ever got out of this mess, I would change. I'd never take another day for granted and would live each moment recognizing it as the gift it truly is. I vowed that from then on, I wasn't going to let myself become obsessed with results. Instead, I'd relish the journey and achieve my goals with peace and joy instead of stress and struggle. Finally, the pathology report came back. I had a tumor, but it was benign, non-malignant. I was going to live. Today I consider that scare a blessing. It gave me impetus to teach and help others learn lessons that might improve their lives. It's also become the basis for my most important message and the final Speed Wealth principle.
So there are a lot of learnings that we have got. Good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
You can see me. If you can hear me, just quickly give me a thumbs up.
Uh, uh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can
Oh,
see and hear.
very good, very good. Congratulations. So, what are the power principles that really ignited your mind? Wow, this is awesome.
Uh, yes, sir. I mean, there are so many important principles that buildings, SOPs, and he shared some stories for the business. So it was valuable, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely. Because we all have 24 hours. All that we need to use is the power principles to actually make our businesses fly and create that speed wealth. Because the power principles that he is sharing from those stories are so valuable. They are like $1 million each. Leveraging, leveraging on your relationships, leveraging on your network, contacts, technologies. Really expanding that and building a business to sell a business is one of those power principles that he actually shared. So the idea is very simple, that if you are really into the business, you can use these power principles to scale up the business to $1 million or multi-million-dollar levels, right? And we have seen this in our working over here. Like he actually talked about, business are actually three things. Marketing is one of those main ones, right? If you know how to market it, you are home. Anybody can manufacture, but marketing is the main thing. So use these power principles, and there's a little bit which is left. I think about how much it is left. Let me check. So exactly 15 minutes is left right now. We will cover that 15 minutes tomorrow. And after we cover that, we will also do a quick rundown of all the power principles, right? And when we do all those power principles, my invitation is start using them in your structures, in your life, in your business. And when you actually implement them in your business, what will happen? Your business will only go one way up, right? So start using them. And before we meet tomorrow, make sure that whatever notings that you have done, you are actually implementing them and also sharing it with the people around you, in your company, in your neighborhood, in your network. Share them that, okay, this is a power principle that I learned and I'm working on it. Do a LinkedIn post.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
is there any document for it so we can read it? Because uh,
sure.
yeah.
This is a book, actually. Speed Wealth is a book. You can probably order it from Amazon or someplace. But I would be happy to give you a summary of it tomorrow when we complete the book. Yeah, with a mind map and everything. Yeah. So have a wonderful day ahead. God